Hello everyone, this is Irian Norell, your Washington, D.C. metro area real estate agent with Compass. Today we are diving deep into a topic that has been creating waves in the real estate world. The recent changes in how commissions for buyer's agent are paid. Now, you might remember I did a video on this topic a few months ago, just before these changes took effect. Well, now we've had some time to see how things are playing out in practice. So I wanted to give you an updated, more in-depth look at what's happening. So in this video, we'll cover 1, how commissions used to work, what's changed nationally, how it's playing out here in the DC metro area, what this means for both sellers and buyers. And don't worry, I've included timestamps in the description, so feel free to jump to the section that interests you the most. So let's start with a bit of history. Traditionally, sellers have paid the commissions for both their agent and the buyer's agent. This practice dates back way back, and it's been in place for decades now. The idea was to make homeownership more accessible by reducing upfront costs for buyer. After all, buyers are often stretching their finances to make a down payment and cover the closing costs. By having sellers cover the commission, it theoretically allowed more people to enter the market. However, this system has faced criticism over the years. Some argue it inflated home prices, while others said that it didn't incentivize buyers to negotiate agent fees. So this leads us to the recent changes. In 2019, a class action lawsuit was filed against the NAR and several major brokerages. The suit alleged that the traditional commission structure violated antitrust laws by inflating costs for consumer. Fast forward to 2023, and we saw a major shift. A jury found that NAR and some brokerages were liable for $1.8 billion in damages. This verdict has led to significant changes in how real estate commissions are structured nationally. So the key changes include 1, sellers are no longer required to offer compensation to buyer's agent. 2, compensations for buyer's agent must be negotiated directly between the buyer and their agent. 3, listing agents must negotiate their commission rates with the sellers and then discuss the possibility of offering a payment for the buyer's agent as a part of their selling strategy. So these changes aim to create more transparency and competition in the real estate market. So now let's zoom in our area. Here's where things get a little bit interesting for us in DC metro area. While these changes might seem dramatic in some parts of the country, we actually have had similar rules on the books for about 6 years. In our area, buyer's agents have been required to sign an agreement with their clients before starting to work with them. This agreement specified what the buyer's agent was doing to be paid and stated that if the seller didn't cover their fees, the buyer was responsible for them. However, and this is important, while that has been the law in the DC metro area, it wasn't consistently enforced or followed by all agents. So what's changing now is that these practices are being universally implemented and enforced. In essence, we've seen a shift from de jure, what the law says, to de facto, what actually happens in practice. This means that while the changes might not seem as drastic here as in other parts of the country, they're still having a significant impact on how we're doing business. So now let's break it down and talk about what this means for sellers. There has been some confusion here, so let me clear things up a little bit. You might have heard in the news that sellers no longer have to pay buyer's agent commission, and that is true, but it's also an oversimplification. Here's the reality, at least for now. We have no idea what's going to happen in the next years. 1, sellers are not obligated to offer compensation to buyer's agents. However, not offering compensation might put them at a competitive disadvantage, especially when the market is more balanced or leaning towards a buyer's market. Why? Because if everyone else in your neighborhood is offering to pay buyer's agent commission and you are not, buyers might be more inclined to look at those other properties first. Even if the buyers do come to see your property and want to make an offer, if they have an agent, they might either ask you to pay the fee or offer or negotiate the price down so they can cover their agent's fee. Even unrepresented buyers may ask you to lower the price to offset the absence of a buyer's agent commission. In today's digital world, most buyers are very well informed about these practices. From my recent experience, which is admittedly anecdotal, all buyers we've worked with since the law changed have either requested seller's payment for their agent's commission or, if unrepresented, asked for a price reduction equivalent to that commission. So while this isn't guaranteed to happen in every case, it's becoming increasingly common. So while you do have more flexibility now, it's important to consider the market dynamic in your area when making your decision. Now, what about buyers? When you hear this, you as a buyer are alarmed, right? Because it sounds like these changes mean that you will have additional costs, right? Maybe, but let's break it down. So, one, professional representation. Having your own agent is crucial. Think of it this way. If you were going to court and the other side had a lawyer, obviously buying a house is not the same as going to court, but real estate transactions are complex and involve a lot of money. So the risk is very high when things go wrong. Having a professional in your corner can protect your interest and potentially save you money in the long run. Two, negotiable fees. Just because the seller isn't offering to pay your agent's fee upfront, it doesn't mean it cannot be negotiated. A skilled agent can help you navigate this. There are several ways to approach it. One, writing the fee into the contract. Two, asking for a seller's concession. Three, negotiating a lower purchase price to offset the fee. Although, keep in mind that for now, your agent's fees cannot be folded in the loan. So even if you negotiate a lower price, you will have to bring cash to the closing table to pay your agent. Four, potential for savings. I know it sounds crazy, but hear me out. If you're a savvy negotiator or working in the buyer's market, which, by the way, we seem to be going towards right now, you might actually end up paying less overall. Remember, in the old system, the seller decided what your agent will be paid, not you. But now you do. So, what are the practical implications? How is this playing out in real life right now? Based on my experience and the discussions with colleagues over the past few months, here's what we're seeing. First, and the most important, upfront discussions. Agents now have to have a detailed conversation about commissions early in the process with both sellers and buyers. Two, increased negotiations. We're seeing more back and forth on who pays what when it comes to the buyer's agent commission. Three, varied sellers approach. Many sellers are still offering to pay buyer's agent commission to stay competitive, while others are opting for paying less or not paying at all and wait to see what happens. And four, buyer's education. There is a learning curve for buyers, especially the first-home buyers, in understanding these new dynamics. But the emphasis here is on value. Both buyer's agent and seller's agent are focused more on demonstrating the value they bring to the transaction to justify their fees. It's important to know that we're still in the early stages of those changes. It will likely take at least 12 months, if not more, before we have solid data on the long-term impact. So to wrap it up, let's recap key points. One, the way real estate commissions are structured has changed, both nationally and here in the DC metro area. Two, sellers have more flexibility in whether they offer to pay buyer's agent commission, but need to consider market dynamics. 3, buyers need to be prepared to potentially cover their agent's fees, but this is negotiable and can be often factored into the overall transaction. 4, skipping professional representation to save money is very likely tempting, but it is like attempting major home renovations yourself. You might initially save, for sure, but mistakes could cost far more in the long run. Real estate transactions are complex, and homes are typically your biggest investment. A professional agent who does this for a living and navigates these intricacies daily will spot potential issues and address them before they become a problem. While it's your choice to go solo, when it comes to your biggest asset, proceeding without professional guidance carries significant risks. So remember, real estate is local, and these changes might play out differently in various neighborhoods and price points. So if you're buying or selling in the DC metro area and want to understand how these changes might affect your specific situation, I'm here to help. Feel free to reach out with any question or for more personalized discussion. You can find my contact information in the description below. Thanks for watching, and here's to your success in the ever-evolving world of real estate.